Hey guys, welcome to another Complete Developer Raw with your hosts, Will and BJ. So, here in Nashville, it's
very dim, actually.
yeah. The song November Rain really applies. So if that pun wasn't bad enough, November 1st is All Saints Day, so I'm wearing Saints.
I saw a joke on Facebook the other day that was, All Hallows Eve is yesterday, right?
Right.
And it was, I think it was Lutheran Satire that put this on. They said, well, so All Hallows Adam was the day before that. And they suggested celebrating with a McRib. I was like, there's a dad joke right there.
Oh, that is.
I told that to my daughter, and she just did an about face and just walked out of the room. Didn't say anything. She just turned around and was like, I'm out.
Yeah, I probably would have done the same. Exactly. Yeah. No. So, guys, it's been a little while since we've been on here. Let's see, we're out of town, and then Will was sick. So, last week, I had some family in town. Both my sisters came down along with my nieces. So, if you follow me on social media, you saw me holding lots of babies. We went to the Bell Buckle Craft Fair, and oh my goodness, that was freaking huge. Like, yeah. I didn't realize just how big this event was. It's like, Bell Buckle is like this tiny, tiny town with like this one main strip of stores, and like in the middle of the stores is the town hall.
Yeah.
Like it's on the storefront, and that's it. And then there's a gas station and a railway. That's Bell Buckle. So I'm thinking, all right, we're gonna go to this. There's gonna be some like tents and stuff set up in front of there. And then they had this like back area with other things set up. I was like, all right, well, this is pretty neat. It was a decent sized thing. And then we started walking down the street because they had some down the street. No, it went on for miles. Like the whole town. People rent out plots on their yard.
Yep.
For people to set up these booths. It was huge. I got this there. Will has one from some conference he got.
No, from Toggle.
From Toggle. I thought they gave it to you at the conference. That's where you got it. Oh, no. Okay, well, from Toggle. And so I've always wanted one, but I hadn't seen them anywhere. And they had a place that had these things. I was like, I'm getting one.
Yeah.
Really cool. Keeps my hair out of my face. Great for work.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that was cool. And then this past Saturday, I went to Emerge. It was really a great thing for free.
Yeah,
so
you were really excited about it.
Yeah, that was it. What's going on with you, man?
Well, I've started lifting heavy again.
Nice.
And I started not last week, but the week before, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's weird how my appetite will spike.
Yeah.
Like it takes like a week and a half after I start heavy lifting before all of a sudden I'm just ravenously hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like I swapped out my pre-workout drink. Like I couldn't find the stuff I had before from Costco, so I got some other stuff from Kroger, I think, either Kroger or Publix. I forget which one. And it's real good, but it takes a minute to kick in, and so like it wasn't doing anything, and so I'm like doing my squats, and I get to the last squat, and then it starts kicking in. You get like the neck sweat, and yeah. So I was like, I get done and I got like jelly legs from doing squats, and I feel like I could bend a tire iron with my arms. I'm like just like pacing around. I mean, it was, so like I ended up doing a bunch of curls and kettlebell swings. So like that point, it's like I don't really need to work out, but I got to burn this crap off so I can sleep. And so, I did that, and I didn't think anything of it. And I got up the next morning, and I couldn't straighten either of my arms. Stuck like there. It's like, oh, here we go. That took a little bit to get over. So other than that, I got sick last week as well. So Thursday, I guess it was Wednesday.
Wednesday night, you sent me a message and said, I don't know we're going to be able to record Thursday. And we said, we'll play it by ear.
Yeah, I was sneezing and coughing, and my daughter called from school. She was sick. So I just picked her up, came back here. I mean, I think 2:30 in the afternoon, I went to bed, and then I got up for about an hour, around 9 o'clock, and then went back to bed. And then I got up like 7:45, went to the doctor, came back here, went to bed. I mean, I was just down for like 36 hours. I mean, I was mostly in bed. And that's not really common for me, right? Like I'm not a nap taker type person.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Other than that, that's basically been it. Oh, we were supposed to go to Indianapolis, and now we're not because my wife is sick. We were going to go, and she was going to run the marathon up there, which I like the Indianapolis Marathon because at the finish line they have free chili dogs, and you got all these runners. Right, so they're getting coupons for free chili dogs. They're not going to eat those. They just ran 26 miles. Are you joking? So, like, last year, I had, like, 5 of them. It was good.
It sounds like you.
Yeah, I'm just like a total vulture, just show up and...
Well, I was like...
I was really looking forward to this. That and the elk burgers at this other place that's up there that... Bubs. I go to Bubs up there near Zionsville.
It's like, who was it that told us about... was it Jason that told us about doing the tour of the Guinness factory?
Maybe, yeah.
And guilting all the Americans with like their families with kids into giving them giving him their free drink tokens.
That had to have been Jason.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like something he'd say. Yeah. Anyways, that's what it reminds me of. Speaking of beer, by the way, I didn't mention this on my stuff, but I am doing no beer November. So y'all know I did that 6-week challenge back like April-ish time frame. And it got me going. I lost a lot of weight, went down an entire pant size, and the last month or so, I've noticed I haven't been eating out a lot more, but I just haven't been keeping up with it. I'm like, all right, I need something just to kind of help me kickstart back into it. So this month, November, I am not drinking any beer.
Nice.
So
I've just noticed I feel a lot better when I don't drink beer. Like I can drink other alcohol.
Yeah.
But I feel better if I don't have beer. And this eczema I've got on my hands, I mean, like this is the clearest it's been in months.
No.
And I think that's it.
Well, I just noticed like I go to tailgate. I do a lot of other stuff. Beer wise.
And when you and I get, we have beer. There's a volume thing there too. Mm-hmm. Like you're getting a crap load of carbs and other stuff. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I don't like a beer, and I can tell the next morning. So I'm like, yeah.
I'm gonna focus on like the big thing is no beer. Doesn't mean no alcohol, just no beer. I drink the fall.
Only time it happens.
I didn't say it was the only time I drank scotch. I said it's when I drink mostly scotch in the fall. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some questions.
Mostly you drink scotch in your fall. Mostly. All right, sorry. Not really. No, he's not. In the episode, Inversion of Control, you talked about scheduling and how a junior and a mid-level developer would schedule his tasks, and I would like to know your opinion on how a senior developer would schedule the tasks. I'm assuming this is like your development tasks, like what you're actually doing at work. If you're the senior dev, especially if you're the only one, your scheduling is basically a gopher whacking exercise of trying to avoid being on the critical path on anything. Because you tend to get overloaded. You got, I think I've got at least 3. Well, I know I have at least 3 active projects. Plus, I'm involved in several others at work, and they're all critical. And so, my main thing is like, what thing am I most in danger of becoming on the critical path of, and then how do I fix that? Mm-hmm. So that's my scheduling algorithm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it depends on well, something we're talking about tonight is being on multiple projects.
Yeah.
We're going to record an episode on that.
In fact, is that from this? Or is that from a previous?
This is part of the email we got that led to the creation of that episode.
Okay.
Yep.
I was
yeah, you have seen this before. Yeah, so guys, we reuse things. This email was so great. It had a couple of different things in it. And we got an episode idea out of it, and of course we put it in the episode as well. But also, I thought this would be really great to talk about live for you guys to hear right away. There's that. And moving on, next one. What is the strangest advice you've ever received?
Okay, so before I started public speaking. Somebody said, imagine that they're all pooping while you're talking to them.
Oh my goodness.
And I have to admit that it really helps. Because it puts you in an authoritative position. You're just like, what are you doing in here?
Guys, I had some stuff to say. I can't even top that. That's I mean,
some dude in a gas station on the way to Nashville Software School.
I mean,
I've told me that, and I'm like,
I've heard. I mean, everybody's heard the Imagine they're in their underwear, stuff like that, or something like that.
And the guy sounded like Sling Blade too, which just really added to it. Imagine they're pooping. Like, all right, partner.
That's man. I don't even know where to go from there.
That was the strangest applicable advice. I've gotten lots of stranger advice that was just kind of crap. Mm-hmm. But pardon the pun. But that one worked.
Man, I don't even remember what I was going to say now. That completely threw me off.
It does kind of have a way of wiping everything out, doesn't it?
I think the strangest advice I got was either from you.
I can't imagine.
Or from one of our martial arts instructors that's worse than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But so far as development advice, so what's the strangest development advice you've gotten? It's a tough one to think about.
The strangest development advice.
I've gotten a lot of bad advice. I don't know that it would be strange, but it's like, don't apply for this position or things like that.
Yeah, or like intentionally, people tell you to intentionally screw something up so you get time to fix it.
Oh, I know one thing that I was told that was, I personally think was strange, just maybe because of my mentality, but also I think is bad advice, but was just because it's a known best standard doesn't mean you should do it.
I would agree with that. And the reason I would agree with that is I actually had this argument not all that long ago. The thing like with best practices is it's best practices on average. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times you end up in situations where it doesn't really make sense. Like it might make sense in terms of the code, but not the business process. We had that episode on white label apps.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing that I run into at work is there's stuff that's, yes, this is industry best practice. We deploy twice a year onto our client servers. A lot of times we're not even the ones doing it. And so like if you do certain things where you break stuff, you can't fix it easily.
Yeah. Well, see, for me, this was whether or not to use unit testing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking about like that level. I get where you're coming from, where it's like, all right, we've got a specific use case, but this was a advice on not using something that you should be doing.
That's not even like best practices, though. That's like use a ground wire. Oh, I don't want to use the ground wire. I don't want to waste the copper. But I don't want to get wasted by electricity. But yeah,
I know the best, the strangest. Well, no, probably not the strangest, but it was one of the dumbest things I've done. I listened to my little sister. Hi, Lori. I'm sure you're watching this. Who said?
There we go.
who said that she would not put a shock collar on the dog until I tested it out because the dog barked a lot. This is when we had an apartment together. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'll test it out. But I didn't know this at the time. Those shock collars, when you rub them on the table to activate them, well, each time they bark, it increases the level. So we had been rubbing it on the thing to several times. So it was at the max level. When I put it up to my throat and barked.
Well, that's special.
What was really funny is after I did it, her boyfriend did it.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not her current husband.
No.
This is an old boyfriend.
That dude, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely strange.
Yeah. Anyways, right. Let's go on to the last question.
Which developers are usually the first on the chopping block of a massive layoff? There's several different cases. If you've made yourself redundant, that's a good way to end up going. If your boss already dislikes you, if you are the highest paid person there and you can't perform, even if you can perform, actually, a lot of times they'll cut you because they would rather cut you than cut 2 other people, even if you're doing the job of 3, because they want a higher head count. It makes them look better.
Yeah.
Also, if you were the most recently hired.
or you're for the most junior.
Yeah, or you're starting to kind of step off of a project, like you just finished something. Now is a logical cutoff point.
Mm-hmm. So the only thing I have is if you've made yourself dispensable, the problem I have with that as an advice to not making yourself dispensable is if someone can't take your place, you can't move forward.
Right. You always have to play a game with that.
That is sort of a balance there. But answering this question, that is...
You want to make yourself indispensable but not embedded.
Right.
I guess is the best way to put it, right? Like you want to be where somebody can't pull you out, but you aren't stuck. And that's the trick.
What you want is to where they need you to train the next person.
Yeah, or where you're in future plans.
Yeah.
Not in maintenance or in like you're in go forward stuff and you're not legacy. That's the trick there.
That really is. All right, guys, that pretty much covers our questions. Those are some good ones. And thank you. 2 of those actually came from listeners. I didn't have to do as much searching on Quora for.
That's good. We're getting there.
Yeah, that's really cool. I hop over here. Anybody on Facebook? Nope. Nobody on Twitter or Periscope or YouTube? No one. All right, guys. Well, leave us a message in the comments if you have a question for us. I look there first, and then I go through emails and stuff. And like I said, we got a really great email that turned into that first question and an episode. So the person that sent that email is going to be getting a water bottle from us. So, you never know. You send us a question, it may spark an idea. I was working on a completely different episode last week when we got that email, and I was like, this is great. I'm going to start working on it. And that's what came of it. So that's pretty much it. Speaking of episodes, this week we have open spaces. So emails. I want to address this before I get into talking about the episode that came out today. So we got an email from someone saying that when they saw the title, they thought we were talking about like open office spaces. When the episode is actually about open spaces at conferences. So I apologize for the title. When I think of the open office spaces, and we apologize for the dogs barking too, but when I did that, I was thinking of open office spaces is like using the term open office.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think of lots of profanity when I think of open offices, to be straight up honest.
But to address that email, I wanted to say we do have an episode out there, the one that you wrote about different office layouts.
Yeah, the one I started kind of specking out.
No, we recorded it.
Oh yeah, we did. Did we?
Yeah, it's okay. Out there. It's been published. we do this so much, like
it's weekly. Just imagine you can remember any particular random conversation at a bar that you go to every Monday night for 3 years.
Yeah. This is why I searched on the website and I search on our Kanban board before I post anything.
Yeah.
So anyways, going back to the episodes, this week we have one about open space technology. Guys, some of the best and most interesting conversations happen between sessions in the hallways at conferences. If you attend often, you'll find yourself deep in conversation with people just as passionate as you on topics ranging from those of the talks to your hobbies or your dream projects. This is also a great place to learn about other developers and build friendships. I know I've built several friendships with people that live here in Nashville and other areas talking between sessions at conferences. Open space technology is a method of organizing meetings and conferences. It's a participation-driven meeting where the agenda is created by those in attendance. The meetings are kind of self-organizing. Sound familiar? Agile. The conversation is emergent and may address many areas around the topic of conversation. And they don't have to be just about development. So we had some really interesting conversations at DevSpace while I was down there. In this episode, we introduce kind of the open space technology and listen in as I led an open space session at DevSpace this past year.
So the upcoming episode next week is Causes of poor code quality. There's a lot of bad code out there. Don't know if anybody's noticed that. Pretty much every organization has it somewhere. There's some little corner. It's kind of like the junk drawer. You know, it's the difference between having a junk drawer and being a hoarder. But everybody's got a junk drawer. That's the best way to think about this. There's generally a chunk of code that nobody wants to touch. However, just because bad code happens everywhere, it doesn't mean that it happens in a vacuum. While you don't want to go around blaming people for turning your code base into an awful mess, usually, you do want to be aware of the factors that lead to a sloppy, hard to maintain, and disorganized code base so that you can make some headway on actually fixing it. There's a lot of reasons that bad code's created and continues to exist in even the best organizations. This episode, we're going to talk about some of the things that are almost guaranteed to make a mess out of your code base, as well as how to address them. We start off by talking about developer factors, then discuss management and financial factors that tend to lead to busted, nasty code over time. These things are tools that you can use to figure out things about your organization that might not be obvious except by looking at the code.
So I wanted to wait till you finished, but I find it hilarious that you used junk drawer as an example because at church the other day, I think it was a week or two ago, the minister used that was the prime thing that he talked around. Like that was his prime example that he taught around. Parable, I guess, was a junk drawer, and when you said that, I'm like, that's funny. That's popped up a couple of times in the last few weeks for me.
Maybe the universe is trying to tell you something about junk drawers.
I think I have too many, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe your whole place, man.
it's
You're moving. It's fine. Yeah, it's going to be somebody else's problem.
I say it's pretty messy right now, but I'm about to move, and I'm going to get a cleaner to come down to my new place because it's a lot bigger than where I'm living now. Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to hop off here and record.